Greetings to Dr. Azhar. My name is Alidinsia binti Dohwil. 613F5 will present my final year project. My FYP title is The Impact of Working Environment, Work-Life Balance, and Demographic Attributes on Compensation and Benefits among Employees in Government Sector. According to Dolly in 2016, compensation was raised by Edward Hay. Compensation plays an essential and practical role since it is the heartbeat of human capital management. Working environment is a core determinant of the efficiency and the competitiveness of employee performance. According to Meenakshi in 2013, work-life balance was raised in 1986. The significance of demographic attributes for understanding compensation and benefits has been given greater attention. In this analysis, gender, age, marital status, and department are considered to suggest their impact on compensation and benefits in government sector. Next, I will talk about definition of terms. Demographic attributes is employees' characteristics such as gender, age, marital status, and department. Compensation and benefits divided into two. First is monetary benefits, which is direct compensation received by employee from the employer in cash, such as basic salary, bonus, allowance. Second is non-monetary benefits, which is indirect compensation received by employee from the employer, such as fringe benefits, medical insurance, vacation, holidays, and etc. Next is working environment. Working environment is the physical environment in the workplace, such as lighting, noise, cleanliness, and space. Next is work-life balance. Work-life balance is when employees at work have the freedom to change their schedule, free to determine ways of performing their tasks as long as when they have manager support in workplace, either workplace issues or home issues. Next, I will talk about problem statement. First is regarding the research of demographic attributes, age, gender, status, and department on compensation and benefits. Most of the studies done overseas, such as USA and Mazadaran. There are limited studies conducted in Malaysia context. So, the first objective of this study is to determine if employees' demographic, such as age, gender, status, and department are differ significantly in terms of compensation and benefits on employee working at government sector in Sabah, Malaysia. Second is regarding to the working environment. Past research just study the direct connection with the general element affecting working environment, such as job satisfaction, employee performance, employee intention. Thus, the second objective of this study is to determine the relationship between working environment and compensation and benefits among employees in government sector, Sabah, Malaysia. Third is regarding to work-life balance. There are a lot of arguments pertaining to the past research finding, and it leaves this topic open to discussion. Research to examine relationship with work-life balance and compensation and benefit is not balanced. Some of researchers find correlation, some of it is not. Thus, the third objective of this study is to determine the relationship between work-life balance and compensation and benefits. There are another two objectives included in this research, which is to determine the demographic attributes among employees working in government sector in Sabah. Next is to determine the level of mean score for all independent and dependent variables. So, in this study, there are 5 objectives. Next, I will talk about chapter 4, which is finding. First is data collection summary. The data of this study are obtained by using the closed-ended questionnaires. Before distributing the questionnaire, the consent letter from the faculty is sent to a primary and secondary school in Kota Bulu, Sabah. The questionnaires are distributed to respondents on 14 May in 2021. The researchers also has given the informed consent forms to the respondents so that they know the purpose of this study. The respondents are given 2 weeks to answer the questionnaires. The questionnaires are collected back by the researcher on 28 May 2021. Next is data preparation. After collecting the questionnaire from the respondent, all the questionnaires are checked by the researcher. A total of 100 sets of the questionnaire are validly and completely answered by the respondent. The data are then keyed into SPSS 26 in order to be analyzed. The 85 data are reviewed carefully to make certain that the data are truly keyed in, useful, and valid for testing. The researcher also have checked if any apparent error in data typing in order to avoid any errors in computation. Next is actual data reliability analysis. Based on Table 6, the Kumbach alpha value for Section A, which is compensation and benefits, is 0.929. Section B is working environment, which is 0.963, and Section C, which is work-life balance, is 0.940. The Kumbach alpha value for this section are higher than 0.7, meaning they are acceptable to be used. For demographic findings, which is the objective is to identify the demographic attributes among employees in terms of gender. Out of 100, there are 66 female and 34 male. For the age 20 until 30 years old is the highest, which is 47 respondents, while the least one is respondent with 41 years old and above, which is 23. Next is marital status. Most of the respondents are married, which is 53, and unmarried is 47. Lastly is department. 55 out of 100 total respondents are from secondary school education department. This is followed by 45 respondents from primary school education department. Next, for the second objective, which is to identify the mean score for all dependent variables. Firstly, working environment. The mean working environment of the respondent was 3.2541 with a standard deviation of 0.7527. Secondly, the mean work-life balance of the respondent was 2.9177 with a standard deviation of 0.74397. Lastly, the mean compensation and benefits of the respondent was 3.4955 with a standard deviation of 0.84052. Move on. For the third objective, which is to determine if employees' gender, age, and department differ significantly in terms of compensation and benefits. So, the result is employee gender, age, and department are not differs significantly in terms of compensation. This is because p-value is more than 0.05, hence fail to reject the null hypothesis. The fourth objective is to determine the relationship between working environment and compensation and benefits. The result indicates that there is a relationship between working environment and compensation and benefits. The fifth objective is to determine the relationship between work-life balance and compensation and benefits. The result shows that there is a relationship between work-life balance and compensation and benefits since the p-value is less than 0.05. The r-value is 0.646, which indicates that there is a strong correlation between work-life balance and compensation and benefits. In this study, I also have done additional analysis performed, which is to determine the relationship between schedule, flexibility, manager support and job autonomy, lighting, noise, space, and cleanliness at the workplace, and compensation and benefits. Based on SPSS result, schedule, flexibility, manager support, and job autonomy, lighting, noise, space, and cleanliness have a strong positive correlation with compensation and benefits. Next, I will talk about Chapter 5, which is discussion and recommendation. First and foremost, I will elaborate about the summary of discussion and findings. As we see at the table, employees' gender differs significantly in terms of compensation and benefits. However, this null hypothesis is failed to be rejected, so this result is similar to Heydarian, Klarijani, Jamshidi, and Khorshidi in 2015, Das and Shah in 2013, but contradict with Cortes, Schmidt, Hughes, Lipinski, Theodore Radcliffe, and Ward in 2010. Next is employee age differs significantly in terms of compensation and benefits. However, this null hypothesis is felt to be rejected. So this result is similar to Marcus and Namita in 2017 and Mehrad in 2015, but contradict with Heydarian in 2015 and Muhammad in 2017. Move on. Employee department differs significantly in terms of compensation and benefits. However, this null hypothesis is also felt to be rejected. So this result similar to Marcus and Namita in 2017, as well as Heydarian, Clarigi, Jamshidi, and Khorshidi in 2015, but different from Muhammad in 2017. Next, there is no relationship between working environment and compensation and benefits. This hypothesis is successfully to be rejected. Hence, this result is similar to Olukaran and Gunaselan in 2012, Awan and Tahir in 2015, as well as Kontli in 2003, but contradict with Permadi, Landra, Suja, and Kusuma in 2019. Last but not least, there is no relationship between work-life balance and compensation and benefits. This hypothesis is successfully to be rejected. Hence, this result is similar to Dawson, Collins, Bartram, and Stanton in 2020, and Isse, Abdirahman, Iliyasu, and Ebidemi in 2018, but contradict with Muller, Hidden, Rudolph, and Engerer in 2017. Lastly, I have also done the summary of discussion on findings for the additional perform analysis. To sum up, the hypothesis is there is no significant relationship between schedule flexibility, manager support, and job autonomy, lighting, noise, space, and cleanliness at workplace, and compensation and benefits. So, the hypothesis is successfully rejected, meaning to say there are significant relationship. Hence, the result is similar to Abdullah in 2013, Ellis and Pennington in 2004, as well as Maya in 2015, Tausif 2012, Tima 2011, Jambi 2014, Pitt 2008, Piska 2007, and Baptisti in 2008. Next, I will talk about the limitation of this study. The first one is topical. There are numerous factors which can affect compensation and benefits. However, this study focuses on 3 factors only, which are working environment, work-life balance, and demographic attributes. It does not include other factors. Subject: in this report, only 2 functional facets of human capital, including the work environment and work-life balance, are examined. No other practices have been selected for human resource. This research, however, does not reflect the whole pattern of human resource. Furthermore, only 4 demographic features are used to track employees' performance, including gender, age, status, and department. There was no other demographic feature used. Thus, the whole demographic characteristics are not observed in this analysis. The third is methodological. This study is restricted to only the primary school education and secondary school education in Kota Belu, Sabah, Malaysia. Thus, generalizing the result of this survey to other schools cannot be completely explained. Also, since the COVID-19 pandemic, the collection of data has been physically restricted. Moreover, in this review, the closed online questionnaire is the only tool used for data collection. For further clarity, no finding or interviews are done. Consequently, the consistency of the study findings will rely on the respondent ability and cooperation in providing concise and truthful answer in the questionnaires. Next is locality. This study is specified to one location, which is Sabah. It does not involve other localities. Thus, the data collected in the study may not necessarily represent other areas in Malaysia. Last is industry. This study focused on the government sector only. It is not made available for other industries. Since different industries may have different culture, this study may not be generalized to other industries. Next, I will talk about the recommendation. The first one is in terms of organization. It is recommended that the organization should care about the needs of its employee. The organization should be more aware of its employee opinions by having an open door policy to all employees, which encourage them to provide constant feedback. By having those feedback, the organization should actively design some useful strategies such as improve current human resource practices, quality, and implement a more positive and good working environment, work-life balance, and compensation and benefits in order to enhance the job satisfaction level and performance of its employee. The organization also should always be able to fulfill its employee job expectation, and this can help to generate good outputs for employees and for the betterment of the organization success. Next is human resource practitioner. Human resource practitioners are recommended to use the finding of the study to identify the relationship of working environment, work-life balance, and compensation and benefits among employees. They should make sure the working environment is suitable and convenient enough for their employees to work. The organization also should emphasize the importance of work-life balance among employees, as during this COVID-19 pandemic, some of the workers have to work from home. So it is important for an organization to consider employees' need in order to adapt to work from home situation. They should also encourage employees to voice their opinion and difficulties faced in the workplace and provide them with some appropriate solution. Next is for future researcher. The future researchers are recommended to combine both quantitative and qualitative methods to conduct the study in order to gather an in-depth understanding on the relationship between working environment, work-life balance, and demographic attributes on compensation and benefits in government sector in Sabah. Through a qualitative methods such as interview, they can obtain additional information and further elaboration given by the informants. Moreover, they are also recommended to conduct the research in various companies with a large sample size because more respondents will have more different perception and opinions. This can help them to obtain more accurate, valid, and reliable data. Furthermore, they can prolong the time duration in collecting data, such as 3 weeks, so that the respondent can have enough time to answer the questionnaire. In conclusion, the research objective of this study are achieved. The findings of the study have shown working environment and work-life balance has a strong positive relationship with compensation and benefits. Besides, the findings also have shown that there is no difference between each demographic characteristic, gender, age, marital status, and department with compensation and benefits. It is hoped that the finding of the study and the recommendations suggested can be used as a reference and guideline for the organization, human resource practitioner, and future researcher, as well as bring benefits to them. That's all from me. Thank you.